Hi, my name is David from Media Unlocked, and tonight we're going to do part 2 of the Canon T2I. We will not be going over the video settings, that will be part 3, but we will be going over everything else. So by the end of this video you should be ready to go out and take some pretty decent pictures and understand how to control your lighting and other aspects of your photo. So starting off, we'll go on and turn the camera on. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to go through all the buttons in the back, and then we'll jump into the menu settings. So I've got Magic Lantern on this, so let me just pop that off. And so we'll start off with this button up here, which is your live mode button, I guess, or camera mode button. If you don't want to be looking through the viewfinder up here, you can just hit this, and as you can see, you are just looking right through the camera. Now, I personally am not a big fan of that, due to the simple fact that I just don't like taking my shots like that, and I don't think they come out very good. Underneath that is your aperture button. Hold that down, and if you see where my upper finger is up here, you can scroll through and control your aperture. I'm in manual, by the way, and this is just where your aperture is at. Next is your Q button, which if you hit it, what it allows you to do is scroll through all these functions, and it kind of gives you a little description of what it is. So as you can see, that one says ISO, this one says your aperture, your shutter speed, and then some of the stuff you can actually click into and control it, so which is pretty cool. Next is you kind of got these couple different buttons right here, and this is your set button. It's kind of like your enter button, so that you use quite a bit. What we're going to do is we're going to jump into your different shooting modes here. You have single shooting mode, which is what most people keep it in. Then continuous shooting mode, if you need to shoot, I think this shoots up to 3.7 frames per second or 3 frames per second. So you can shoot quite a few frames pretty fast. You have a remote mode where you can control it off camera, where you could just set it on a tripod or really set it anywhere, and you could just control the camera shooting from a remote, which is really nice if you're doing some type of shoot where you don't want to be touching the camera and causing it to shake and get a bad exposure. Next is your self-timer mode, which is set at 2 seconds. And third is what is set as your continuous timer mode, and I believe that is also set at like 2 seconds. But you can set how many photos you want to take. So say I want to take 8 photos, so it will automatically take 8 photos for me, which is great if you set this up so that you're doing HDR photos, and I'll show you later how to set your exposures up. So you can set up, say you want to do 3 shots HDR wise, and it would take 3 different exposures for you, and you don't have to be touching the camera at all, because when it comes to HDR photos, you have to keep the camera completely still, and nothing in your frame can change from each photo, or you can notice a huge difference. I tried to do these HDR photos once, and I just kept having these 2 people just keep walking through my frame, and it just didn't work. So you really need to keep your frame very much the same after each photo. Also up here at the top, for people that may have glasses or whatever, if you need to change this, like you're looking through the viewfinder and it doesn't make any sense, you know, you're looking through it and you can't see very well, this right here, this little dial right here, kind of works as like an eyeglass or your glasses, and it will try to match you by scrolling up or down on it. It will try to match, you know, your prescription for your glasses and help you look through the viewfinder and see it a little bit better. So that's actually, when I first got my first camera, I didn't know what that did, and for the longest time my camera was out of focus. I think I was had it set to like way far-sighted or whatever, and it was driving me crazy because every time I looked through the viewfinder I thought I was taking blurry pictures, and really all it was is I just had my thing set up all wrong. Also up here you have your hot shoe, where you can put your external devices like your flash control and stuff like that. As well, if you want to shoot flash photography, we'll scroll back and show you this real quick, and you don't have an external flash, so you're shooting manual but you need some extra light, you just hit this little button here, and let's make sure the camera is on, and pop, and there you go. Now you have a little bit of extra light. I personally don't use it, but I know a lot of people, you know, getting external flash, they're not cheap. It took me a long time before I bought my first couple, so that's how you do that. Okay, so we've gone to the continuous shooting. Of course, I showed you guys how to work white balance last week. Your AF modes. You have 3 different AF modes. One is called one shot, and really what one shot is, it will go out of focus if the subject moves more than one person. So mainly what that means is, say you're shooting someone and then there's some movement, it's going to go out of focus, you're going to have to refocus the shot. Now you have what's the AI focus, which works a little bit better. How it's set up, say, it's for portrait type photography, but as well as movement. So say you're shooting a bird on a limb, and you have this perfect shot, it's focused, and all of a sudden the bird starts moving as you're getting ready to take the shot. Well, AI focus will actually capture that, and it will try to refocus right before you take the shot. It will try to refocus of the bird's movement so that your focus doesn't come out of focus, you know. Where one shot, if you used one shot and the bird moved, it's not going to refocus itself. So AI focus will actually go on and refocus itself for that. And then you have AI servo, and mainly what it is for movement. So say you're at a soccer game or something, you're trying to capture your daughter or your son, they're playing, or your friend, and so you're going up to take a picture, and every time, because they're constantly moving, in one shot you would be out of focus when you took the shot. Well, AI servo, what it does is it kind of tracks your subject, and as long as that subject doesn't leave your frame. Now, if the subject leaves your frame and you bring it back onto them, it's going to be out of focus. But as long as you keep your subject in frame, and as long as it's set up with your focusing points, then it's going to try to keep refocusing for you right before you take that shot, so you get the most clear, in-focus shot that you possibly can. So those are what those three settings do. We'll pop out of there, and we'll jump down to, we'll go on and just click it back to one shot. So next is your standard picture style. So these are the different picture styles that you have options of. So I just keep it in standard. Then you have portrait, landscape, neutral, faithful, monochrome, and then you can set up your own different settings. So depending on how you want to set it, I know different shoots where I want to take some of the contrast out of the shot, some of the vibrancy. You can go in and do that, and I will show you how to do that in the menu settings here in a second. But I just leave it in standard for the most part, unless I'm doing some kind of specific photo shoot, and then the client wants me to shoot in a certain way. Then I'll go in and mess with my colors, and the shot will be a little bit different. Now, as you can see down here, you have your picture viewing. So by pushing that, you can view your pictures, and then you can delete. So I don't want this picture anymore, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the delete button, and I'm going to go on and erase that picture. And I'm going to hit the delete button again, and I'm going to erase that picture as well. And I got two pictures. So now I'm back to just a blank white photo. Alright, so we'll hit this button down here again, and now we're back to the camera. Up here you have, this is by pushing this button up here, you can control your focusing points. So you push this and you can scroll through and control your focusing points. So I've got them all picked right here, and then that's what that button does. These buttons also work if you're looking at a photo and you want to zoom in on it. You can zoom in and out with these buttons as well. Alright, so now we're going to jump over to display, and you can set up different displays with your photos. So we're going to go back over here, and how do I want to look at my display? So now I can set it to where my photo's here. It gives me all my information, and it shows me what my histogram is for that photo. I hit display again, and it gives me my RGB, coloring, and histogram, and other information right there. And then I hit it again, and it goes back to full screen photo without really any information on it. Now we're going to go on and click up on menu, and we're going to walk through all these menu settings. Alright, so we're going to walk through all these different settings in here. Now, the very top one on your very first setting, as you can see up here, is your quality. I have mine set to RAW, but you have all these different qualities that you can pick. So large, these would be large JPEGs. This is a large JPEG and RAW, or this is just RAW, depending on what type of quality. Or if you've got a small SD card, then you're going to want to probably shoot large or medium, because they're smaller size pictures. They do lose a little bit of quality, but you can fit more pictures onto your SD card that way. So we will click out of there. You're going to click just menu again, and that will pop you back out. You can set up a beep. I've just got it disabled. So shutter release without card, and I have that. I believe I had that enabled. No, I had that disabled, or I don't really have it enabled or disabled. Actually, I believe I should have that disabled. So mainly the shutter isn't, I don't believe, can take pictures without the SD card in there. Image review. So say you're looking at your pictures. It gives you up to 2 seconds before it will click off to the next image. Or not to the next, sorry. What the image review means is after you take a picture, it gives you, we'll set mine to 4 seconds. So say you take a picture, you have 4 seconds before the photo pops off the screen. So say I'm gonna go in here and we're gonna take a picture, set it to manual. All right. And I don't know why. Oh, I've got my self timer still set up. So, and it's gonna give me 4 seconds, then it's gonna pop off screen, and that's what that does. So if you need more time to review your photos after you've taken them, this is the way to do it. This just gives you information about your lens. So say you have a lens, you don't know anything about it, you can go into, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, and it will give you the information about your lens. Red eye reduction, I definitely have mine set to enabled on that. And then you can go in and you can do some flash control, which I can't wait for the T3i, because I think I'm going to be able to, I'm going to have way more options in this menu bar to control external flashes. So yeah, you can actually do your on camera built in right here, and you can go in and do all kinds of different really cool things, as far as setting your ETTL meter, or you could actually set it in your exposures if you want it to put out more light or less light, full. And if you guys want to know a little bit more about that, for the people that use the onboard flash, I don't know how many of you out there do, but if you do, let me know and I'll do a little short tutorial on just how that works. But I don't know how many people really still use that onboard flash. So we're going to hit menu and menu again, and we're going to go over to part 2, or function 2. These are your exposures. Now this is really cool. This is where the HDR shooting kind of jumps in if you want to be able to shoot HDR photos. So we're going to click into this, and now you're going to use your dial up top. You're going to scroll. I'm going to go and scroll, and I'm going to set my meters so that the first shot I'm going to take is going to be darker. The second shot I'm going to take is going to be, okay, let's put it this way. First shot's underexposed, second shot is exposed, and third shot is overexposed. And then that's where you would add the 3 exposures together and make yourself an HDR photo. Or if you just wanted 3 different exposures, this would be the way to do it. So I've got, as you can see, I've got the 3 exposures picked there. I'm just going to click set, and now that's going to be set. So I'm going to go back and put them together. But yeah, you can go in and change your bracketing, which is really nice. All right, audio light optimizer. And you have different optimizers here. I keep mine set to standard, but you can do like strong or disable or low, depending on your audio lighting optimizer that you want. Next is your metering mode. So there are 4 different types of metering modes. So you got 4 different metering modes. Now I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys I'm an expert in any of these. I keep mine on the first metering mode because it's the most basic metering mode, and it's in my opinion kind of works like an automatic metering mode and kind of evaluates everything for you. But if you go into these 3 other metering modes, they do break it down, and you can control your shot a little bit more. To tell you the truth, I don't know exactly in depth what partial metering does, but it helps with your subject, and it helps with backlighting. Then you got spot metering, and what spot metering does is it takes like one part of your subject. So say you're shooting a subject, but you're shooting for one part. It's mainly going to focus right there in the center, as you can see here. It's going to take the colors from that, and it's going to help just shoot for like that specific part of your subject. And then you have center weight average metering mode, and what it is the brightness is metered at the center and then averaged for the entire scene. So it takes, like, say it takes a picture from like the center. So if you notice here, and we'll pop back out to this, if you notice, it's going to take like the center here, and then it's going to take that and it's going to widen it out for the whole entire scene. So that's kind of what your metering modes are. Next is your custom white balance. I showed you guys how to do that in the last video, but I've already pre-taken a white picture, so which is right here, and I want to set, that's the white balance I'm going to use. Mainly you just hold up a white card or a gray card or whatever kind of color tint you're looking for. Of course here I used a white card with these lights right here, and I'm just going to go on and set that. Yes, I want to do that, and now that's my new white balance, and it's going off the fluorescent lights that I'm using for this video. So I'm going to go on and set that. So that's how you set your custom white balance. Next, you can go in and really go into some major details on how to properly set up your white balance, and I don't use this at all. But for all you advanced techies out there, you can go in and actually control, bracketing and control your white balance a little bit more here. Next, you have you have Adobe RGB and sRGB. sRGB, in my opinion, is the better one. It has more richer, fluent colors. I like it better, so that's where I keep it. Then you have your picture styles. Now this is where I was showing you down here. We'll zoom out a little bit, but I was showing you down here where you can control your picture styles, and so you can do your standard. But if you want to go in and do your own, you can go in here. You go in here, and then you're going to click display, and then you go down here, how sharp do I, and you can go in and saturate. So say I want to really saturate, I want to have a setting where I can saturate my photos to a certain extent. So I'm going to hit enter, and then I'm going to go in and I'm going to desaturate it. Then I'm going to hit menu, and that take me out. Now I have a user default where it's a saturated picture when I take it. So you can go in and set that up manually, which is great. Okay, next is dust delete data. Don't worry about that. Your ISO, you don't need to worry about setting all that, because you can set all that very easily on your camera. Next is protecting your images. So say you want to go in and protect an image, you click the set button and then you hit menu, and that image is protected. So I'm going to go on and protect that and then go back. Rotate, if you want to rotate your image, you can do it here. Erase images, so you can go and erase all your images and video right off your card, which is great for all you Magic Lantern users out there, because you don't need to format your card and have to do a reboot on your card. Print order, and then you can set up a slideshow, which is kind of cool. So we'll go back out. Then you can look histogram, and I just keep mine at brightness instead of RGB. You can set it up to where your dial jumps so many images. So I just set that to 1. So every time I go in and I look at an image, so I go in and look at an image, I'm hitting my dial, it's only going to do 1 at a time, or you can set it 10 at a time. So if you're taking a lot of pictures, you just kind of want to breeze through them real quick, you can set your dial up top to do so many images at a time. All right. Control over HDMI, so you can set up some you can have control over your HDMI or enable that. And to tell you the truth, I don't use that at all either. So sorry guys if there's a couple things on here that seem a little I don't know very well, because there are a few things, because there's quite a few things on this camera I don't use. I know exactly what I want to use on this camera, and that's what I use. So auto power off. You can set to when your camera auto power off. I've set it to 4 minutes. Auto rotate, and you can go in and do that. Format, so if you want to format your card, just go in and click OK, and your card will be formatted. You can do a low level format, which, to tell you the truth, I don't know the difference. I think a low level format doesn't, it's a little bit faster, and it just takes off the pictures. It doesn't do a full format. You do need to format your cards from time to time. It's good for you. Don't be leaving your pictures on there for like 2,000 pictures. You just keep building more and more and more pictures up. You need to dump your pictures off your thing, reformat your card. It's good for your card. It helps your card move faster, so that it can take pictures. Because you got to understand, as you're taking pictures, if your card's not fast enough to keep up with your pictures, then it's not going to be able to take pictures that fast. So say you've got like a class 2 and you're trying to shoot 3 or 4 frames per second, it's going to make it difficult. And each card does have different speeds. Like the card I have in here is a class 10, so it moves at the fastest speed when taking pictures. You can set up your filing number. I have mine to continuous, so every time I take a picture, it just adds the number it gives it. It just, so I think I don't know where I'm at now, but you can set it to auto reset or manual reset. I have mine in continuous, so whatever card I have in my camera, it's always just going to be continuous. The next picture is just going to add another number to it, so it's not going to jump from card to card. LCD auto off, you can enable that or disable that. So I think mine goes off. I don't know how often it goes off, but I have that enabled. No use having this on, running your battery power down if you're not really using it. Screen color, this is kind of a cool thing. I don't know if a lot of people know about this, but you can go in and change your screen color. As you notice, this is the one I had at the very beginning, but it wasn't working well with the camera, so I switched back to the green. Alright, now LCD brightness, date and time, language, video system, sensor cleaning, live function settings. You can go in and set all that up right here. Your AF mode, live, quick mode. So those are your different viewing modes. So don't have to worry about any of these, but these are all pretty much self-explanatory. So is this. You got your custom functions, and these are, you can go in and customly change all kinds of stuff with your ISO, and but most of this you don't need to worry about. All you need to worry about is really what I showed you all over here. So don't really worry about your custom functions. And I think what that really does is it sets them up so you can move your custom functions around if you want, but just leave them how they are. If that's how you're adjusted to them, you don't want to be moving your functions around and you're trying to find them and you're kind of lost. You can add in copyright information, which is really cool. So it will add your information into every picture. So I actually haven't done that. I probably should go in and add in all my copyright information. But I use Aperture 3, and it adds in all my copyright metadata information when I import into it. So you can clear your settings, and then it shows you like what firmware you're using here. So as you can notice, I have the Magic Lantern firmware on this one. And then you can go in and set up your menu settings as well, how you want to set up your menu settings. But again, don't worry about those. You just want to leave them how they are. No use changing anything up here, especially if you're used to one way. But if you think it's easier to move these things around, then by all means go for it. So this is a breakdown of part 2. Actually, let me show you one more thing. You have this right here, and mainly what this does is you have where you can add an external mic, which is great. I think it's I want to say a 1.8 inch size. Then you can add in a plunger, and what a plunger is it's a cord that connects to your camera. It's off camera, so you can control your camera. So if you don't have a wireless remote, this works great for taking pictures and stuff when you don't want to be physically touching the camera to take the picture. Your USB, and then your HDMI port. So this is part 2 of the Canon T2I. I hope it helped you out. Again, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave me comments. And if there's anything that I was a little vague on or didn't touch on, or you guys just didn't understand, again, leave me a comment and I will get on the internet if it's something I'm not an expert at, and I will get you the answer. As well, I'm hoping to have the Canon T3I the day it comes out. I'm hoping to be one of the first people in the US to have it. Apparently my camera store, the camera ships from like an hour away from where I live, and the camera store that I'm going to be buying it from, that I'm on the list, they are the first, they will be the first camera store to have it in the US, I think actually in the world. So I'm pretty excited about that. So I hopefully will have it the day it comes out, and I'll have a review up on it within a couple days of the T3i. It's got some really cool new functions for it. A lot of people are saying it's not worth the extra money. They're only going to be, body only is going to be $800, and then body with a kit lens 18 to 55, I think it's going to be $900, is what I'm finding out, the information I'm getting on the internet. Personally, I think it's worth the $800. The T2i will probably drop to $650 or $700, and I personally think for an extra $150, the T3i is worth the money. So again, follow me on Twitter, DAVIDDIMAGES. I'm also on Skype, DAVIDDIMAGES. So anytime you guys ever have a question, or you just want to keep up with what's going on, my updates are coming out, Twitter, Skype. And if you guys got any ideas for something you want to see come out, video you want me to shoot, I know a couple of you have been wanting me to do this wireless trigger thing, and I'm hoping to do it. The weather's been hopefully going to be good this weekend. I'm going to be able to get outside and put together a wireless trigger video this weekend as well. So again, I'm David with Media Unlocked, and